Welcome back to the Chamois, the only Chamois where you can get a professional tarot card reading right here from a haunted house inside a haunted graveyard. Doing paid tarot readings, general, in-depth, twin flame, 10 cards for $10, 15 cards for $15, 20 cards for $20. Also doing live mentoring sessions. Hey John, welcome back to the Chamois, and doing grief counseling sessions. Excuse me. Also talking about law of assumption and exactly what it is. Not only from the things I've heard, but the things I've experienced. How are you tonight, John? In the last chat earlier today, Lisa had asked, what exactly is the law of assumption? So before I get more into that, anybody who has found this reading, this channel, this video, there's always my collective message for everyone and anyone who visits this. If you found this and it's not live, the reading at the end, you want to skip to it, is a timeless tarot reading. Timeless tarot reading means that it's good for any time that you have found it on my channel. So go ahead and skip to the end so you can get that. All readings are paid tonight only, but we are still going to talk law of attraction, law of assumption, love, life, relationships in general. Donations are also accepted. Actually, I'm just grateful to see anybody show up. So welcome back to the Chamois. Just getting my cards straight. I wanted to once again go into, Lisa had asked earlier, what is law of assumption? How exactly does it? So we're going to get into that here in just a minute. One thing in regards to the law of assumption is that the feeling that you have about your desire is just as important as the desire you have. I'm sorry, Simon, it's paid readings only tonight for this morning. But there is going to be a collective message at the end. How are you feeling, Jeremy? I'm back. I noticed my dad came in here and fidgeted around with everything and then didn't put anything back. That's like my biggest peeve. You know, there's a place for everything. Please just put it back. Of course, it never sticks. So I was like, where is that? Where is this? Delay and scattered audio. Yeah, that's the ghost. So, how have you been? I'll wait to see if a few more people show up before I start going into what exactly the law of assumption is and how it works. I think you might have missed Liz earlier, Jeremy. Yeah, she's doing well. She's doing awesome, actually. Hey, dear, how are you? Liz, Liz is actually on. We've been texting back and forth, and we were laughing at some cute pictures of somebody that we were talking about. And she sent me some pretty pictures of the beach and the most gorgeous video of the ocean earlier tonight. There was a pretty good mentoring session earlier tonight, just rehashing everything I talked about earlier this week, Jeremy, in regards to manifesting. Yes, we had talked about some of the manifesting stuff about, in regards to releasing the resistances you have against that which you want, of which you, I can't even English. I'm so excited for her. In regards to releasing some of the resistances that we have regarding our manifestations or what we want in regards to our desires in our life. One of them was, once again, I can do better than this. Another one was, I changed my mind. I want the opposite. Another is, I hope this takes a little bit longer to manifest. I think she was using the I can do better than this one to really change it all, and she did. She did come back earlier tonight when I talked about how I felt like in regards to one of her SPs, and them not being in contact or being able to communicate wasn't so much her as it was, if he just dropped out, no communicado. It's either one because he does need space, or two, felt out of control. So I'm glad she manifested the other SP and had a good time. That's awesome. Elisa was in the chat earlier asking about exactly what law of attraction, not law, exactly what law of assumption was. So I thought I would just come back and talk a little bit about it. Once again, law of assumption is about how the feeling is just as important as the desire. I had talked a little bit about the ladder technique earlier, which is something that prepares you for the law of assumption. You think about what you want. Okay. Once you think about said idea, it can be anything from tangible to intangible. I said tangible to intangible. All right. Nothing actually is intangible in my great opinion, except for maybe changing your DNA. But once you have a clear idea of your desires, and then you take that desire and you turn it into a feeling. And what I mean by feeling is like imagining it. What would it feel like? What does it look like? What would you be like? What would it be like? Imagining yourself working at your dream job, imagining yourself being in a dream relationship, imagining being in your dream car, your dream house, it's basically based off of how your thoughts and your feelings create the reality around you. It's creating that reality based around positive emotions. And I know I have said, you have to be positive all the time. You don't even have to, believe in it. Just knowing it's done is enough. Just knowing that your desire is already fulfilled. And practicing with that whole ladder technique thing is a way of practicing doing that kind of manifesting. Because a ladder is a lot less resistance than said $1 million. And this is where the law of assumption gets interesting, because law of assumption, it's a technique based on the fact that you can manifest whatever you want by morning through sleeping. Because when you are asleep, your subconscious is even more awake, even more aware, even more active, and even listening even more. Okay? That's why I feel the way I feel about dreams. Yeah, there is some mental garbage, but I feel if you're dreaming it, you're seeing it, you're experiencing it, you're believing it somehow, somewhere in your subconscious, and that means that you have impressed upon your subconscious that which you desire if you're dreaming about it, actually seeing. Like I had a dream that I won the lottery and bought a awesome house and moved to Nashville. Or I guess I didn't buy an awesome house in a dream. I just moved to Nashville. Won the lottery, moved to Nashville. Who knows what? It was Nashville. It could be anywhere. Okay. If I won $1 million, or what? I shouldn't say if, because that's so against like law of assumption kind of stuff. But when I won $1 million, now that I've won $1 million, would I move to Nashville? I don't think so. I know that sounds absolutely bonkers, because it is Music City and I'm all about music, but I would be just as happy 15 minutes from the beach. And I'm not talking about here in the Southeast either. I guess that sometimes I get caught up in the whole Music City thing because of how I feel about music. But who knows? I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what I want. But in regards to law of assumption, it's important to know what you want, feel said desire, and understand that the feelings of it are just as important as the desire itself. Once again, the interesting part of this technique is, going to sleep at night, feeling as if you already have it, being grateful and thankful that you've got what is it that is your said desire already in your hands. Whatever situation that is, it could be love, it could be money, it could be house, it could be car, like I said, it could be career, it could be health. It's up to you. And what are the associated emotions with it that said images bring up? How detailed can you go with the images in your head so that you can truly start feeling it? Because once again, your subconscious is what pushes out your 3D reality. So if there's nothing but shit going on in your subconscious, then what do you think you're going to get? When you do progress and thinking about the desired state that you want to be in, the desired life that you want to live in, the desired feeling that you want to be in, when you can persist with that, when you can go through that, you can imagine it. You don't even have to vividly imagine it, even if you're just feeling it, okay? That's enough, in my opinion. More. Some people need more though to believe it. They do need to actually script it. They do actually need to, and there's nothing wrong with that. They do actually need to say the affirmations, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, whatever your set idea is of your desire, what you persist with in your feelings is what you'll get. If you just remember that those emotions are just as important as the desire. So even if it hasn't happened yet, So one way to get into that state akin to sleep, I kind of felt like, I don't ever really remember going to sleep and manifesting a damn thing. Once again, I said I don't know if I've ever gone to sleep and, you know, manifested anything, even though I've tried state akin to sleep. Maybe I'm just not doing it right. So yeah, that's basically how it works. I know Lisa's not here, but I wanted to go over some of that. Because if you can hold on to a feeling, persist in what you want, persist in that feeling, then it's already yours. Um, the more that you wrap yourself in those feelings, the more that you believe it, living from it, serving it like a good example of serving it is, I know that I do want to move on to bigger and better. I started thinking about this in 2019. I've always wanted a magic green home. So I started thinking about trying to figure out how to get one. And it's a very tedious process. But at the end of the day, I feel like, because I started thinking about when I was in this kitchen, what would it be like to be, making my dinner and my meals in my magic green home kitchen. And I would just pretend I'm making, Thanksgiving in that kitchen instead of this one. Once again, I'm using that word pretend because many people equate that, imagining that which they feel they cannot have with the word pretend. But how can pretend really be pretend when you're actually feeling something at the end of the day? would you call your feelings pretend feelings? I don't know that you can pretend your feelings when it comes to manifesting. I mean, yeah, you can you can replace the word pretend with imagine, but it's not like acting where you're pretending to be Peter Pan. Okay. You know for a fucking fact that the only way that you can manifest being Peter Pan is to play Peter Pan on stage or role play being Peter fucking Pan. Okay. So a little bit further down the rabbit hole, if you want to be Peter Pan, be Peter Pan. But just remember, okay, that it is your reality. And the more that you can feel it, even if you can't imagine it, it's okay. Yeah, imagining gets us into the state of feeling, but once again, it's not imagining it. It's not writing it down. It's not scripting. It's not telling yourself again and again. It's actual feeling and doing what you can to make yourself feel. So anyways, I was carrying on imagining cooking in my magic greenhouse, taking a shower in my magic greenhouse shower with no roaches, imagining the flowers or the trees I would plant on top of it, imagining, where would it be? Would it be on a hill in Malibu or would it be on the beach in Cyprus? Well, shit, I have both, you know? Um, and then next thing you know, I get a letter on my door telling me to get out for no reason. Haven't been late with rent, haven't caused any problems, haven't been rude. Just get out. Well, what the fuck? Now what? You know? So I tried to analyze that. Didn't make any sense. But I realized that because I had started thinking bigger and better a couple of years ago, maybe Spirit was just like, well, maybe this is what we have to do to progress the manifestation forward. Maybe this is what I am supposed to be going through. Maybe this is just part of the manifestation. I'm not really supposed to worry about how, where, why, when, what. But supposedly you can manifest it by morning. But it was so difficult to get back into the feelings of being in my magic green room after the letter. It was so difficult to start waking up to a reality that did not go with what I but I did start learning that there was actually these techniques to live it. So sometimes I think I know what I want, and the more recently I trying to really stay more serving of what I do want, or at least what feels right in regards to what I want. Hey, Sophie, we're just talking about law of attraction, not law of attraction, law of assumption and how that works. Because Elisa had asked about it earlier in the paid reading chat that we had earlier with the Q&A about law of attraction, law of assumption. So I was just talking about how with law of assumption, it's important to remember that the feeling that you have it is just as important as the desire itself. Have you been, Sophie? I've been okay. I've been good. Thanks so much for but yeah, so what is it that you want? Okay. Once you've realized said desire, what does it feel like now that you have it? What are you telling yourself about this said desire? Um, what does the desire look like, feel like, taste like? Who would you be with said desire in your pocket? I remember falling asleep. And I think the reason I remember falling asleep is because I've spent so much time in the last couple of years using subliminals, using state akin to sleep. Yeah. I remember being born too. Many people don't remember being born. But at the same time, there are things I just can't remember. Since hitting my head in the car accident. Isn't that weird? So once you can put a visual image to it, which is the image is only to help you feel it more, as if it's happened or you already have it. But getting into the state of feeling that you have it, throwing that logic out the window, the circumstances that might be wrapped around it, like I can't have this because of this, or this will take too long, or I'm too fat, or I'm not pretty enough, or she has more money than me, or he has this and I don't, or whatever. You know, just throw that away. Like, don't worry about that. Think about having what you want and how that feels, and staying in that energy, and knowing that that's all you want. Persisting in that feeling and that knowing, and that is a very powerful message sending to the universe about what you want. Just as powerful as thinking and feeling the ones you don't want to show up. And now I want to catch you. So just remember that the desire, the feeling of having it is just as important as the desire itself. Well, yeah, like that's what is wrong with Addison. Addison wants to use the state akin to sleep, which is what we're talking about right now, which the latter technique helps you with, helps train you get more into, um, going to bed at night as if you do have everything. Well, I'm going to go to bed tonight and said SP, we'll just use the name Bob randomly, is there with me, and you know, and I'm in my magic green home in Malibu or on the island of Cyprus or on the fucking North Pole. It doesn't matter. Like, and I'm happy as a and snug as a bug in a rug. Whatever helps you get there. To go to sleep as if you have already what you want. Like, you want to spend more time with your daughter, Jeremy. So, you go to sleep at night with the feelings that she's there with you. Okay. And that your family's there with you, the ones that, you feel, or the people that you feel nurtured around. Okay. Maybe you have an idea of a new partnership that you want to be in. And maybe you and your new partner, said new partner and your daughter are having a family picnic or spending time together, whatever, and you're falling asleep at night with that wonderful feeling, Jeremy, before you go to bed. Practicing it like that. But it might be easier to practice it with the ladder technique where you take the actual, piece of paper and you write on it, I will not climb the ladder, and you put it in your bathroom, or you put it in the places you might dwell, like the kitchen or your bedroom. And then every time you see it, you tell yourself, I want to climb that ladder. But before you go to bed, you tell yourself, I will climb the ladder. Excuse me. And you imagine climbing the ladder. Pardon me. Excuse me. And you imagine climbing the ladder. You could even go as far as to, what does the ladder look like? Is it a little 2-step ladder? Is it a 10-step ladder? Is it an escalator? In my case, I was telling the girls earlier that I had done the ladder technique the first day. My dad thought I was crazy. And that night I had a dream about my mom. And I was on crutches, which I was on crutches back then. Still, this was maybe a year ago. Maybe like about a year or so ago. And the dream was like as an escalator in the sky. There were some clouds and I was climbing up it. And I'm like, this is really weird. It's like an escalator that goes nowhere. And I'm on crutches. And then, like, next thing I know, there's my mom. She's like, I'm going to help you climb the ladder. And I was like, this is interesting. Okay. And then I wasn't scared anymore. Electronics. But anyways, so back into you ever fear heights? So did my mom. I would drive her up like the side of Little Kennestone Mountain. She'd scream like, God, ridiculous. And I just laugh. I don't understand fear of heights. But I do understand not wanting to be eaten by a shark. So I can understand your fear of heights. Well, yeah, and the step thing, that's why you should create whatever ladder feels easy to you. Maybe it's a 2-step ladder, maybe it's a 1-step ladder, but at least, you're imagining yourself before you go to bed climbing a ladder. And then what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to prep you to see how your mind creates it in your 3D reality. Within 24 hours or 3 days or a week or so, you might be called to step a ladder or even see a ladder or have to move a ladder. You might have an experience with said ladder. So that experience is supposed to help create, a nesting egg of what it might feel like to move on to the next step, which is, what is your said desire? Oh, said desire is to have my daughter here and my new partner that is, she could be 5'10", blonde bombshell and have, boobs the size of your head, whatever pleases you. Or she might be, said geek with glasses and, a $60,000 a year job or $100,000 a year job. And she takes care of you and the family. Or maybe it's that you have said dream for a celebrity crush and you want to be with her or something like that. Whatever it is, it could go so out of this world. I mean, I'm just being ridiculous because you can manifest even that which you might believe that you couldn't manifest. I mean, hey, Molly, welcome back to the Milkers. Is it about you? It's just about a lot. Like, remember I was talking, we talked a little bit about the I can do better than this thing, but now I was actually talking about how the law of assumption plays out and works, because Elisa had asked earlier, what exactly is this LOA Q&A, and how does the law of assumption work? Well, law of assumption works in a way where, you think about a desire that you want, or think about that which you want. Once you know what you want, you start to imagine it and give it as much detail and visual in your visuals or your imagination so that you can feel it all around. And then once you feel it and what it feels like to have it, you move on to the next step, which is, persisting in the belief that it's already yours, which, that that feeling about the desire is just as important as the desire, and getting it. You wouldn't desire it if it didn't, make you feel better. All right, Jeremy, have a good night and get some rest. Remember to go to sleep tonight as if you have everything you want. I guess we'll start testing it this week if anybody wants to try it with me. I'll send, and I'll go tonight as if I'll go to bed tonight as if I sent my SP that picture of us that he took, and I hear from him soon or something. Jeremy goes to bed tonight as if him and his daughter and his family are all good and they're going to Disneyland or something. Who knows what he'll imagine? Cottonfly, same thing. Manifested having, a successful and awesome week with my coworkers, and everyone got along. Molly, it's the same with Molly, manifesting the best sex of her life. So yeah, at least if you come back there, you have it. So I'm going to go ahead, and it's been about 45 minutes. Not sure if anyone else is going to show up tonight or even come by for a paid reading. So just wanted to go over some of that. Yes, but just remember what you said. He might have been just a little bit better. And I say that because we've been on the subject of, you doing better than that. Hi, Vanshika. Welcome to the Tammy. How are you? Good to see you again. Maybe once I end this, I go back and listen to it because we talked about law of assumption, exactly what it is, how to use it to your advantage. I'm just going to do a collective message for anybody who might be seeing this here at the end. And so, Spirit, what do we need to know about tonight in the not too distant future? Yep, I know, Molly, I wish you did too, and I wish I could say the same about myself sometimes. 1 minute I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and send this, and then, I let too many options that I had to communicate overwhelm me, so therefore I'm just like, fuck it. Triggered now. Don't want to do it. Whereas I feel like from your perspective, it's like, I want him to reach out. I want him to show he cares. But I think that's more because, you are not certain about his feelings and never were truly certain about his feelings, yet you were. Does that makes any sense? Well, yeah, and you're so stuck on that. You're so stuck on it, and you never say anything different. You never think anything different. You never try feeling anything different. It's always, ugh, I wish I had the courage. Ugh, I know that I feel like, and if I do, I'm going to get blocked. Ugh, I'm next. Ugh, ugh, he this or that. Like, you turn him into such a bully, and he's really just a very simple person. Just a very, have you ever heard that song Simple Man? So let's think about the law of assumption real quick and how you can use it to change it with Mr. White. So you're going to go ahead and think about what you want with him, which is you want him to respond in a way that pleases you. And you're going to think about how that feels. How does that feel to Molly? What does that look like to Molly? What is it that Molly is imagining in regards to this manifestation and what she fucking wants? Hmm? And when you start to imagine it, feel it without allowing that old story to boggle your mind. Like, I just don't know how you can allow yourself to relive it and relive it. Like, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't keep reminding myself of what he did to me when he hasn't hit me, he hasn't pushed me down, he hasn't stolen from me, he hasn't tried to rape me, he hasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so you feel ghosted, right? I understand like how awful that feels, but you don't have to keep reliving it. And you don't have to keep giving him the same action to do over and over and over again. You really get into your feelings about it. You get so into your feelings that you manifest the silliest shit. Yeah, and these are things that, in regards to what you want with him, you have to genuinely believe it as well. That's why you've manifested it 1 and 2 times. You know, third time's a charm. I'm gonna brush my damn bangs out of my eyeballs. Excuse me. Um, can I share something? Yeah. Please share any experiences that you're having. You know, even if they're not with law of attraction or law of assumption, please share. But now you feel like you can't call or text them. So you have to ask why. And you have to turn that belief or that feeling around. Okay? Like Cottonfly, I asked her today if she thought I should send that picture I found of me and my SP to him. The one that he took of us on my phone because I wasn't sure if he had it or not. But she said, first thing she said was, it depends on how long has it been since you guys have talked. But I'm not sure why that matters. Like, even if we weren't talking, I got so confused. Now, had she asked me that question a few years ago, I would have been like, oh, yeah, we haven't talked in excellent. You know, I would have really gotten into my feelings and emotions about if that would have even mattered. Now I'm kind of like, wait, does that matter? Like, if I hadn't seen you in a while, Cottonfly, and there was a picture of us together and you didn't have it, when you want it? When you want it, Molly? Yeah, of course you guys would want it. But I would have never thought to have sent it if it hadn't been guys, so thank you. Been a major crush on this guy since last year, June, and he asked to hang out, and this Martian said yes to me, but then ghosted me like in 2 months and blocked me. Wow. You guys really do manifest some crazy stuff for yourself. Is it peanut butter jelly time? Yeah, but still, I have to be careful. I have to be careful because I can't allow, the wicked witch back in. Oh, Monday. I can't trust that day. So what happened? Did you get to manifest anything different other than being ghosted? Um, cried for a month. I'll never cry again. Okay. I don't do crying. Okay. I don't do cry and I don't do giggle. Okay. I'm kidding. But I just feel like that crying is good for you. It's not a bad thing. And you can still get what you want, Manchika. Even if you cry, even if you don't believe, just knowing it's done, just getting into that feeling of what you want. It's right there. My hair's in an awkward state, you guys. I'll never be the same. Dark circles. Uh-oh. But not good dark circles, right? Because there are such good things as good dark circles, ask Molly. God, I love this song. Happy Monday, everyone, by the way. Well, and it did. It worked out for a while, and then you broke your mind and it fell apart, but it will come back together again. Just work on you. Serve yourself up with feelings and emotions that serve you, you know? And who knows? Who knows how far you'll go with the whole I can do better trick. Hey, Liz, welcome back to the channel. It's peanut butter jelly time. Yeah, I think we've all been there where you are, Vanshika. I had a boyfriend thing who told me to get ready to go out for a bite to eat. We were going to see one of the most romantic movies ever, and he told me to bring a tissue because he heard the movie's quite a tearjerker. We got off the phone. I was putting my lipstick on, finishing touches because he's about to pick me up for like a day, and then this girl calls me, also in the same music scene. She's like, "Did you finish the t-shirts for the band?" I'm like, "No." I'm not thinking about that. We had agreed that I would be given 4 weeks to do it, and just been on day 2. Okay. And then next thing I know, she's like, "Yeah, I'm going to be going out with," I'm not saying his name, so bleep. And she's like, "Yeah," and he told me that we're going to go out for a bite to eat, and then we're going to see blah said movie, and then he told me to bring a tissue because he said it's quite a tearjerker. Never went on a date again. Well, I did, but then the next date was with fish lips, and then after that, I was really traumatized. So, if somebody wants to take me out on a third date, be careful. We don't want to end up with a Sicilian curse. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Molly and I are going to do another live together. She's going to teach me how to flirt. There's another thing about he was just a savage, wasn't he? Aren't all boys savages? I'm going to be a savage now. Yes, fish lips. Poor fish lips. He was so handsome, but he couldn't kiss to save his life. Then she got. Yeah, so I went on a date with Fish Lips. We went and saw this. He picked a movie. It was a chick flick. I wanted to see something more sci-fi, but he didn't even give me a chance to pick what movie we were. He didn't even. He was like, "We're just gonna go see this one because Jack Nicholson's in it," and blah 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 blah. I'm like, "Great! I have to sit through 2 hours of listening to people eat popcorn and watch this chick flick. It wasn't even funny to me." While he giggled through the whole thing like a child. Oh God! And then he took me home, and he was like, "Oh, I gotta check out the beach before I drop you off at your place." I live like right across the street from the beach, and we got out to go for a walk. It was nighttime. I was like, I really don't want to walk around at night. We would trip over a dead body, um, and it smelled like Riptide. And if you know what Riptide is, like Jesus Christ on a crutch, it does not smell good. Nothing should ever smell like that. And he kissed me. I wanted to die. So he will always be fish lips. Sorry, Jeremy from the Neptune. Love you, bro. Ugh, I should have gone out with Bob instead. Yeah, I got my fair shares of having to listen to her on the phone while getting those dark circles. So I had this one experience, the only time I ever got dumped. Um, okay, maybe I've been dumped twice, but I don't really know if you can call my last breakup a dump. But I had this one boyfriend, and he came over to the house, and we were gonna go out, and instead he brought a box box of my stuff that like I had left at his place, the studio. And he wrote "monster" on the box, and it hurt my feelings so much. And he took me down to the park, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm breaking up with you because I don't know why. I just I don't know where to go. This is going, and I don't know what to do." And and I was like, "This is just so weird out of nowhere. Like last week you want to marry me, and this week you don't know what the fuck you want." So I never talked to him again, which I was fine with because I didn't need some guy who had taken my stuff and put it in a box and put "monster" on the box and then brought me. I guess because my nickname when I was a kid was Little Monster, so maybe he just thought that was appropriate. But he did not like how close I was to my family, which is part of the reason he was dumping me. Um, he wanted to be in a relationship with me, but he didn't want me talking to my mom or my dad or my sister or my brother or having anything to do with my family that had anything to do with talking about us. So, like, if my mom and dad were going to ask me about us, or ask us about us, he didn't like that. Like, it's none of their business. Like we can't even say we're doing good. Like, what? It was just so fucking rude. But it was funny because, like, of course, I was heartbroken and everything, but I got over it almost instantly because a couple days later, like, my mom and I and my dad went for a drive, went to get some ice cream. We went to said park, right? Like, just for a moment, we drove by, we saw this sign. It's like no dumping. Have you guys ever seen those no dumping signs? Where it's like you see a trash can and then you see like a little stick figure man and he's throwing trash away in the dump, no dumping. And because I was so heartbroken because he took me to the park and dumped me. But I got over it pretty quick because I had a pretty good laugh at the no dumping sign. And I was like, yeah, someone put that up for me to make me laugh because they probably watched this guy dump me in the park. So after those two experiences, I was done. I was just like, that's it, done. So I just started like matchmaking my friends instead of me matchmaking myself. I wasn't ready to have any more strange experiences. Oh yeah, and that guy that dumped me in an email that I didn't get until 10 years later. That was interesting. I don't know if that's as bad as dumping someone with a post-it note or what, but mm, I feel indifferent about the post-it note thing. I've seen that happen. Literally seen that happen. Thank God it didn't happen to me. Here is said no dumping sign. It should be put in all parks across the country, and only it should have like a broken heart symbol on it, like on the trash bag or something. Hey, what can I say? We're all 29, eventually. All 29, except me. I'm 15. I'll always be 15. I decided to not take a break from guys. I wanted to keep rock and rolling, and I couldn't find enough girls who wanted to keep rock and rolling, so I had to keep manifesting the ideal band members. And it just came to the point where it's like, okay, if I try to find another guitar player or a bass player, I'm just gonna stick with the drummer I have. And when we can do something well, and everything else, I'll just mostly do on my own. I mean, I'm totally open and willing to finding new musical soulmates, but I feel like there's just something special about John Abel and I. There's something special about when you can find people that you can just jam with, you know. Well, I hope so, Vanshika. I hope everyone's experience here can help everyone, learn something or realize something. I mean, how ridiculous is it for me to have a picture of someone, that I, excuse me, love, cherish, and adore, and I haven't given them the picture they took of us? Like, how rude of me. Someone, someone just slapped me, but gently. So, like I said in the beginning of this live here, um, law of assumption is about deciding what you want, tangible to intangible, whether it's love, health, money, career, home, life, your celebrity crush if Firespawn was here. I'm not going to be the one to sit here and say you can't have it because I would be lying. And I don't want to defy the gravity of science. Does that make sense? Do we even know what we're doing? God, I probably not, but at least it feels right, right? Because wherever you go, there you are. So we were talking the other day about, maybe in regards to manifesting, maybe sometimes there needs to be some practicing going on in regards to communicating about what we feel we're best at manifesting so that maybe we can help each other. Like I feel like I'm good at manifesting, good health. Um, I feel like Molly's good at manifesting a fabulous sex life. I feel like Liz is talented at manifesting and meeting a lot of awesome people. I feel like Confly is good at communicating and manifesting good communication with others, including herself and others that come in the chat. There might even be more things that we realize about ourselves or that we don't realize about ourselves yet, just by coming here every day and hanging out for a little bit and chatting about it. Whether someone reads cards or not, I always want to make the option available, but I don't always come here just looking for tarot card readings. I look for people who want to actually talk about stuff from, law of attraction, law of assumption, science, music and art, especially, relationships and life in general, especially because so you don't understand why it didn't work for you manifesting because you don't understand that you are doing it involuntarily, just like the same way you are involuntarily breathing. Okay, you haven't, maybe you haven't really harnessed the power of your own emotions and controlling them yet. um, but first of all, ask yourself, what is it that you feel that you did maybe that it didn't work? What were you trying? What was the technique? While you're manifesting on that, I'm just going to read some of the stuff that Molly and Liz said. I just had said that, I talked the other night about us being able to manifest certain different situations better than maybe everybody else. Like maybe one of us good at manifesting love, one of us good at manifesting great sex life, one of us good at manifesting money, one of us good at manifesting health, one of us good at manifesting, and maybe some of us not so good at manifesting some of that. Maybe we can teach each other about what it is that we do or feel or experience manifesting these things so easily. Yeah, and like I've always been good at manifesting really cool situations. Like where does Chloe Stormy live in Boston? Oh, she lives in Harvard Square. Or she lives on Rainier Beach. Or she lives in Medford. On the same street Jingle Bells was written on. Oh, where does Chloe Stormy live? Oh, she lives in Little Five Points. She grew up in Little Five Points in Atlanta. Now she lives in a downtown historic haunted neighborhood. Oh, where is she living now? Oh, she's living in the east side of Nashville. Writing stories about vampires and doing palm readings. Who knows what the future holds? Oh, she's living in, Santa Monica. I don't know. Doing voiceovers for spooky movies or whatever. So situations with music too. I mean, always cool situations. So I can even go over what it is that I do to manifest those cool situations, the thoughts, the feelings, the actions, to help others do that too. Hey, Dollface, how are you, babe? We're just talking about law assumption and how it works because Elisa had asked earlier, what exactly is it and how does it work? And I had to go, so I could only give like a short brief. So we're listening to Chet Baker live in Paris, by the way, 1960 through 63. No, I did not see the voiceover job you sent me. Where did you send it, babe? So yeah, like that's, it's taking some time to manifest my next place, but that's okay. I needed it to take a little bit of time. Takes up to $16,000 for 49 hours. Okay. Is it in a text message? Because when I get offline here, I'm gonna go work on the voiceover thing and do a couple chores. Hey,
what's going on?
I'm just about to end my life. What are you doing?
Don't say that. It sounds good.
What did you think I said? End my life?
Yes.
I said end my life. Did not say anything about ending my life. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, take his garbage musical.
My dad doesn't like my jazz music.
Can you see the movie?
I see that you have manifested this movie. Yes.
Yeah. You know what I was talking about?
Yes, we were just talking about this movie last night.
It came on.
Here it is. It's on. All right, guys. I'm going to do a collective message for everyone who came to the chat tonight, who might show up later. I usually do this at the end of the live paid readings. You want to manifest a specific person to be your best friend, and you are in contact. Well, that's a great start. So go back to the beginning of this video and listen through. And just remember that getting into the feeling of it's already happened, getting into the feeling of what that would feel like, okay, is the beginning of it. Hey, Queen. So just remember the feeling of your desire. It's just as important as your desire. Like, I'm, having a bunch of anxiety trying to pick options, right? When I should not be trying to fill my time up with too many options to pick. Just pick what feels right and go with it. Okay, Spirit, what do we need? What do we all need to know about tonight in the not too distant future? What do we need to know, Spirit, about tonight and the not too distant future? Sorry you guys had to listen to my boring story about fish lips and that horrid ogre that took me to the park and broke my heart. I promise I'll spare you any more gory details. So what do we need to know about tonight and the not too distant future conflict? The energy being proposals. So I feel like this Five of Swords and this Knight of Cups, the conflict that you're talking about in your head is because the Swords is your mental energy, your head now. Okay, that conflict that's going on inside of you. Don't give it don't give it another drink. Don't give it another cup. Don't give it another thought. Don't turn your back on that conflict here. It's great that you have everything that you might need to defend yourself, against the conflict, but it's really about your intellect and your thoughts and how you're processing it. Give proposal to things that serve you. And once again, cord cutting is all about, turning your back on those feelings and emotions that don't serve you. The sooner you can do that, the sooner the magic will begin with any proposal that you make and getting what you want with that proposal. No serving what doesn't serve you, which is conflict, only serving that which does serve you. The magic from within. Got the season of the witch here. So every day should be the season of the witch, honestly. So yeah. Cut ties with those feelings and emotions that don't serve you. Stop thinking about that guy you cried, for a month over. Start thinking about the guy or the girl that's gonna make other parts of you cry in good ways instead. Okay, spell it out if you have to. Yourself and others. You'll figure it out. Just give yourself some time. Be patient. It takes time for a baby to grow. If you guys have any other questions before I go, please feel free to ask now. I'm going to go work on some voiceovers. I think that we are the spell. kind of like we are the world. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones that make a brighter day. So let's start giving. It's like just like that. Okay. So you are the magic spell. You are the world. Okay. It is within you here. You just have to go within. Yeah, we are the magic. Okay. It doesn't have a meaning unless you give it a meaning. That's simple. Anything in there? No. So keep me updated. God, I love that song too. I want to record it with anyone and everyone who will record it with me. All right, guys, I love you. I'm gonna go clean the rest of my kitchen and go work on this voiceover because I have bills to pay and places to go and people to see. And I guess the ghost wanted to say goodnight. Just make sure that tonight before you go to bed, you're going to bed in the state and the feeling that serves you as if you already have what you want. Just try it for one night. Okay. Hell, even maybe try one night of, one day of I won't climb the ladder and then go to bed saying you will. And let's see what happens. So I'll be back tomorrow. Please come by tomorrow. Let me know if you've had any updates. If there's any questions that you have that you think of, you can ask me tomorrow when I come back. And I'll just see you guys then. Kalanita. Arrivederci. Sayonara.